Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. If everyone would, please silence their phones, and we'll start with the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Our daily bread, forgive us our trespasses, forgive those who trespass against us.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
good afternoon. At the council meeting on Tuesday, September 15th, I announced that the council received 2 applications for round 2 of the process to fill the vacancy in the office of the county executive due to the death of then county executive Bob Culver on July 26, 2020. There was not a formal decision at the meeting on Tuesday because of the possibility that additional applications postmarked by September 14th may come in the mail. There has now been ample time for the applications to have been received, and there are no additional applications. I'm going to summarize how we got to where we are today. But before I do that, it's noted that under the Wicomico County Charter and state law that the council is not required to take any specific action, such as asking for applicants or interviewing anyone in order to fill the vacancy. Also, after discussion with the Maryland Attorney General's office regarding the Open Meetings Act, we understand that the council is not required to conduct the selection process in open session meetings that the public may attend or watch on PAC 14 or YouTube. In other words, the council could select someone to fill the vacancy in a closed session and without requesting applications or interviewing anyone. That said, here's how the process has actually occurred. On July 28th, 2 days after Mr. Culver died, the county council sent out a press release and advertised the position in 2 local newspapers. The job posting was placed on the county's website as well. The deadline to submit applications was August 11th. There were 4 applicants, 1 who withdrew. On August 12th, a press release was sent out identifying those applicants. On August 20th, the council held interviews with the remaining 3 applicants in 1 open session. Following the interviews by a majority vote held in open session, council selected someone to fill the vacancy. Excuse me. On August 24th, the person selected to fill the vacancy declined the appointment, and notice of this decision was sent to the news media on that date. On August 28th, council met in open session with legal counsel, Mr. Paul Wilbur and Mr. Taylor, to discuss how to proceed. Mr. Wilbur and Mr. Taylor advised that the 45-day period specified in the Wicomico County Charter to fill the vacancy is a directory provision, not a mandatory requirement, and council decided to extend the application period to September 14th. Also on August 28th, a press release was sent to the news media announcing the application period was extended to September 14th. The press release was later posted on the county's website. On September 15th, I announced at a public meeting that the council had received 2 applications in round 2 and announced the applicants' names. On September 15th, the council decided to have a meeting today to consider resolution number 103-2020. As mentioned, the Wicomico County Charter does not specify a required process to fill the vacancy. The initial thought was that the council must do so by 45 days after Mr. Culver's death, but we have been informed by legal counsel that this is not a mandatory deadline. The legal memoranda on that point may be obtained from the council administrator. Before the council is resolution number 103-2020, approving the continuation of John D. Psota as acting county executive. For the benefit of the public, I ask that the resolution be read by Ms. Hurley.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As President Dodd has stated, before you is resolution number 103-2020. This is approving the continuation of John D. Psota as acting county executive. It states, whereas Section 407 of the Wicomico County Charter, Subpart A, provides that in the event of a vacancy in the office of the county executive, the Director of Administration shall serve as the acting county executive until a new county executive is appointed, and shall have the same rights, duties, powers, and obligations as an elected incumbent in said office. And whereas, having requested and received applications to fill the vacancy and conducted interviews of certain applicants, the council is unable to reach a consensus on the filling of the vacancy pursuant to Subpart C of Charter Section 407. Now therefore be it resolved that the Director of Administration, John D. Psota, shall continue to serve as the acting county executive until such time as the vacancy in the office of the county executive shall be filled pursuant to an election in accordance with the county charter and state law, or if earlier, the vacancy is filled in accordance with Charter Section 407. And this is done Salisbury, Maryland, 18th day of September, 2020.
With that said, I need a motion to approve resolution number 103-2020.
So moved.
Got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Mr. Hastings?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm going to vote no against this appointment, and my no vote has nothing to do with Mr. Psota's capabilities or leadership. It has everything to do with this body's process and inability to do what the charter said we were to do within 45 days, which was appoint a new county executive. Today, 54 days after the vacancy, we are not going to appoint an individual who didn't even apply for this position. We did have two separate deadlines for applications, which yielded 5 candidates. One candidate with very clear support and from hundreds of residents and dozens of important community leaders and organizations. As we heard at Tuesday's council meeting, the public is still left with serious questions as to why the council didn't actually consider the qualified candidates who took the time to apply. The question that the public has repeatedly posed to each of us is that of what's really happening here. Is this just politics as usual? And to this day, I can't answer that question. As a backup option, County Administrator John Psota is about as good of an appointment as we could ever hope for. I've known Mr. Psota for more than 20 years, and he has the right demeanor, work ethic, leadership, and knowledge to serve the county well. In fact, actually very well. But to be clear, Mr. Psota will now be working 3 jobs. The Deputy Administrator position, he's going to be serving as Administrator, and then as also County Executive. As I've said before, and I think as all of us agree, we need to immediately hire a Deputy Administrator and make sure that Mr. Psota gets all of the support he needs. In summation, my no vote is about this body's failure to do what it is charged to do, and in the way that the public was broadly left out of the process. We live in anxious times. I think folks just want to see that their local government is functioning well and looking out for their best interest. I fully understand that this was the very first time that this council has ever had to go through this process, hopefully the last time, and that a charter review committee could suggest a better process in the future, but that doesn't excuse the results. Undoubtedly, we can improve upon the process that got us to this point, and I'll, of course, happily do everything I can to support Mr. Psota in this continued role for the next 2 years and 3 months. So with that, I look forward to supporting the acting County Executive Psota, and thank you, Mr. President.
For the record, Mr. Psota had already stated that he was going to fill the Deputy Administrator's position and start filling the other vacant positions. Any more discussion?
State, Mr. President.
Mr. Cannon.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Delegate Anderson for putting his name forward again. I'd like to thank Mr. Matthews for also putting his name forward again. I think it is unfortunate that the council could not come to a consensus in the first 45 days or in the second process that came about. I will vote yes for Mr. Psota because I think he's very qualified. I think what's more important than anything at this point in time is that we put this behind us. We get the appointment made, we put it behind us, and we move forward. One thing that will come from this is that we do recognize, as we have over the last few years, that there are many charter amendments that need to be addressed. The entire charter itself really has to be addressed. I think that's what we're going to see developing once the Charter Review Committee is appointed. This obviously will have to be one of those issues. I think the council would agree with me that this certainly is going to have to be an issue where we fine-tune this process and we get something that's more acceptable, not only for the council to have a better way forward, but also for the public input and their participation in this process as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cannon. Any more? Mr. McCain?
Yeah, just a quick comment. Actually, I want to echo a lot of the comments made by Mr. Hastings and Mr. Cannon. And I do want to thank both of the candidates that are currently have their applications in. The council was unfortunately unable to come to a majority consensus, as frankly the public is well aware of, and despite efforts that were made. And with that said, Mr. Psota has performed his duties very well over the last several weeks and has given a lot of confidence to the council, and he's certainly a very capable individual, very competent individual, and that kind of brings us to where we are today. I will be supporting this because we do need to move forward. Could we do better with the process? Absolutely. Actually, I'll use a comment that was made by a few weeks ago. We had our Rising Star Award winner here from the one of the teachers here in the county, one of our new teachers who received the Rising Star Award, and her motto was failing forward. And sometimes, what she talks about is you have to learn from, what you've done. Sometimes it doesn't work, but when it doesn't work, you have to identify why and how you can do it better. And I think that's something, we need to take from this and, try to move forward. But at this point in time, I think this will be the best situation for the county because it will put an end to this situation as we see it now, and we can start moving forward. So thank you.
Any more comments? Any more public comments? I will state this, that the Charter Review Committee will be forming sometime soon. We have a lot of amendments and issues in the county that need to be gone over, and the charter needs to be changed. And I will say that Mr. Psota has graciously stated that he would accept the appointment. So with that said, all those in favor of resolution number 103-2020 by roll call vote. Mr. Cannon.
Aye.
Mr. Hastings.
Nay.
Ms. Ackley.
Nay.
Mr. Holloway.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. McCain.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. So it's 5-2. All right. Need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Thank you, everyone.